Hark, hark, hark.
Never sold my soul to the devil, but I can say you his. Welcome to Dante's America, where the demons live. Can you tell me the difference between the snake and the rib? We take the witches to the stake just because of Eve's bid. I got nothing to give, cause there's something to take. I plot my escape while drinking fermented grapes. The undead, the Dracula, the bat with the cape. Can't see the execution, the space whether he smiles or sobs. Do not bungle the job, you might trouble the mob. They will have you for lunch, anybody gets touched. The prostitutes don't clutch, and the ghosts stay hutch. I move smoothly for the booty, need my gold in a plush. So welcome, hear ye, come one, come all. This the last of days, masquerading deaths at the ball. Watch the dragon soar the sky and breathe fire on all. Strive to stay alive, because the wolf don't crawl. Yes, the eagle is law, we hunt the feeble and small. I'm not speaking to y'all, this is silence and secrecy. Providing the mystery, right story about victory. My blunt stay hickory, bitch niggas can't get with me. Not only OG, you know that shit ain't on history, nigga, fuck it. I catch a traitor's head in a bucket, I'm never trusted. My sword is never rusted, I'm plagued with the disgusted. Amazed and I love it, guns blazed at the summit. Gargoyle, who won it? Survive fights with nights, so watch your eyes turn bright. Keep your rosary beats for things that bumper tonight. Cause even saints face the tank for a piece of the bank. We all moving up ranks with these double-edged shanks. This is pirate and plank with song and strong drink. How long will fate take with bad success and good mistakes? We all gotta wait for the black or pearly gates. I was never early or late, the right don't debate. No, I won't hesitate. Rip his nose off his face, put his head on the plate, then I'll boil it with dates. They'll taste checkmate and then we all say grace. The Negro versus evil. The Negro versus evil. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You wanna come in this rap game, you best to come ferocious. It's ludicrous out here, you best to have 4 eyes to focus. Niggas like to snatch chains, then post it just for notice, hoping to get some change. This the home of the hopeless, the forgotten and strange. Better look out for your homie or he'll be plotting to play. You can have bifocals on and they gon' plot anyway, and then not have shit to say, but then say you are the shit. Fame, fortune, glamour, and glitz. Cameras, light, action, and they document it. Your opinion on politics, go protest the public's bullshit. Don't be like X, someone got their hand up in their pocket. The Negro versus evil. 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 Who shot who? And what would Tupac do if you knew how many dudes in your crew was jealous of you? Them niggas smelling like felons, and they used to jail food. They'll tell your story on the news just to get them some views, and so will that hoe too. Some ham from Instagram, she survives off scams. You know the lames and the lambs, and you thought you was her man while she Snapchatting the plan. Nigga, you are the baller and everybody wants fans, so pour some drink in the glass. She's waving that fat old ass. She got the upper hand. Now Bandito's coming to all black van. The coroner stand over, now you understand. No more diamonds on your neck, but there's blood on your hand. And your children left abandoned on the corner they stand, needing money to bury you cause you had no life plan. But on the internet your ghost gained 1 million new fans. It seems like every nigga was born a part of the clan. The Negro versus evil. The Negro versus evil. The Negro versus evil. of the realest niggas. If you can't sell no more records, they'll catch you out with the liquor. Read these lyrics to these idiots, they won't get the picture. And then you'll get a Grammy. Take some photos with some trannies. What have we here? A pap smear with a beard. Got MC of the year. We went from gangsters and 40-ounce beers to circles of weirdos and queers. Steer clear of this shit. A slave picnic. Yo, bitch will nitpick. You holler on stage. It makes no dollars and cents. But since we on that topic, why is niggas killing everyone and we making profit? Music videos in the alley. No more yachts in the tropic. Stay dangerous, don't stop it. What you trying to kick knowledge? No, I'm trying to get my whip polished and leave you a tip. I'm just observing the game because the world is a trip. But anyway, here's my new mixtape. The shit's hella lit. The name 727 for the G and I keep 2 clips. The Negro versus Evil. 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 Hold on. Isn't that awesome? The Negro versus Evil? Yes, indeed. How y'all doing today? Back here at the Money, Religion, the God 720 in the motherfucking house, nigga. Look, you know, the Negro versus Evil, the MK Ultra, they try to MK Ultra you. They want to split the brain. You know, they want to split your mind in two with great events, you know, current events, the spectacle, you know, the great wowzers, the Shazam, you the abracadabra, you understand. Before we get into it, remember, get all the books, Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, 3, The Black Man's Bible, The Ethereal Law, and also the 4 ebooks. We got to do that. That is the Real Nigga Etiquette, Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition, and also the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, Volume 1 and 2. You dig. And don't forget, all 3 volumes are going for $33 right now at kickedoutofheaven.com. Don't procrastinate. You know, don't hate, cooperate is how the game goes. Don't hate, cooperate, my nigga. You cooperate and we all get fat. I'm still doing the marathon right now. We got to get the skulls brittles in place, about 1,500. You dig what I'm saying? And we're going to have some magical work happen. We're going to adjust everything into a new podcast and a new light and a new beauty because it is time for that to be done. Otherwise, you know, we shut the doors on this forever, you know. But besides that, you know, they want to MK Ultra you. Everybody wants to MK Ultra you. You know, it's kind of funny. There's this weird cloud over my head right now that, yo, niggas need some more uterus is alien game. I'm like, man, for what? I really don't want to spit that shit publicly. It's too high level. It's too direct. It's too on point. It's non-debatable. You know, it's dangerous territory. I don't want to be speaking that shit publicly and then, you know, somebody go Googling my name, YouTubing my name. It's like, oh, look at this nigga over here talking about uterus is alien. The nigga is insane. Do you understand? People think, peace to the family. I just read Real Nigga Etiquette. I'm passing it around to the YGs. Okay, appreciate it. The bearded Haru. Hey, well, if you just walked in, I got the Kicked Out of Heaven for sale for $33 right now. You can go cop it, and that includes shipping and handling if you are in America. Okay? And it's on the kickedoutofheaven.com website, so go ahead and cop that. I still got Black Man Bibles too, so go to the blackmanbible.com. I definitely appreciate your support. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. Is MK Ultra the 5G or is the uterus the MK Ultra over Negro mind? They throwing life away over cat. Oh, okay. That was interesting. Gems for hymns, but you know, let's talk about that a little bit. I don't want to talk about this subject, man. Why are y'all not cooperating and forcing a scenario where we always got to speak publicly? I don't like this shit. Is the shit I be spitting is not to be public, and that's just a bottom line. This is a higher degree of science, and then not only that, I really would like to know if people are even knighted for the right to even be encountering that level of information. A lot of people have not gone through the psychological shifts that are required for to intake, and to comprehend certain levels of the game. And that's just reality. I mean, shit, that's my position right now with the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know nothing about the stock market. I got to go through certain rights and ranks first and certain due diligence before I can hear the game of the achievers and the winners in that field. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't even want to go into it, but you mentioned something that is real keen to the fact, okay? Is that, you know, niggas done lost their mind. Everybody done lost their mind. There's all types of, relationship triangle murders going on, murder suicides, and all of this type of stuff. And you have to understand one thing about the whole uterus is alien level is that the uterus develops man and woman. Okay? Both little boy and little girl come out the uterus. Therefore, it designs the brain. So the psychological and telepathical connection and power that it has over its children, or over, because you have to understand that all brains have similar structure. So if the uterus develops the male's brain, then understanding the develop and the creation of that brain, she can also send telepathic messages to any male. And a lot of these situations that you see with the murders and all of this stuff actually is the uterus, fucking with the mind of the male. And he doesn't have the science to understand what the intrusive thoughts are that are coming from the uteri. And some of these uterus, because the uterus doesn't like the woman, is what you have to understand. And that's why the uterus creates pain once a month, and there's a whole process that goes on with the quote unquote cleansing, you know what I'm saying, and getting out the heavy metals and whatnot out of the bloodstream. Supposedly, there could be a mass amount of things that are going on that we have yet to comprehend. But with the woman feeling those cramps and feeling the pain, she wants men to experience the same pain that she feels. Okay. So you have to understand that what I'm showing you right now is an unconscious level of female behavior. So, and some of them know that it's conscious. Some of them understand this, and they also they understand this, and they expect for you not to understand this. And when you bring it to attention and awareness, she will definitely recognize the fact, and she'll also apologize, because there's a lot of intrusive thoughts, not only on just the male's mind but also on the female's mind, the owner and possessor of said uterus. Okay, so she will go out of her way, and she will develop many ways to inflict pain upon men. And that pain and the different styles of how she inflicts the pain, it may be social, it may be emotional, it may be financial, embarrassment, it could be disease, it could be poison, as we have witnessed all of these type of situations occur on the news. And you probably have some stories underneath your belt or know somebody who has some stories. Okay. And these are all invisible ways of inflicting pain. And these invisible ways of inflicting pain, which will result in erectile dysfunction, are called witchcraft. Okay. Now, there's a couple of other areas of witchcraft, but you have to understand that all behaviors and all statements and all, what's another word I can use? All inclusions that women cause upon man that has an intention or a result
to be pain, to be defined as pain, as what the male receives, which will incorporate erectile dysfunctions, all classified as witchcraft. That's what you have to understand. And this is where the MK Ultra comes in, because one of the finest layers of this is the emotional attachment. If you don't have emotional attachment, then she can't affect these areas. And that's why, we just went through a large year or a couple of years of women talking about be emotionally available, which another word of emotionally available is also loyalty. Okay. And what that means is that I'm connected to you, but it does not define what style of connection that is. So she may be connected to you in quote unquote loyal, which our Western social definition of loyalty, our urban definition would be um, not having sexual conjugation with anybody else, or any form of flirting or any form of activity with the opposite gender of, while supposedly underneath the title of boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, um over your mate, without your mate knowing. Okay, that's what loyalty is defined as. But loyalty in another sense, which when you want to talk about its medieval definition, means that you know my secrets, I know your secrets, I'm connected to you and bonded to you through those secrets, and also what we define as love. You know what I'm saying? And these two areas is what keeps us unified and helps us survive. And these areas are not to be broken. Okay, and that is what loyalty means. And also, these secrets are not to be exposed, especially to said enemy that can potentially come in and cause harm in any different form, that's socially, financially, physically. Okay, so that's what loyalty is by maintaining the secret. The That's the medieval definition. The modern day definition is not only maintaining the secret but not cheating on your partner, right? But that does not state that they're not bringing pain to your life themselves. They can still be loyal to you, and their own behavior shows that their loyalty to you is based in me treating you like an asshole, me trying to rip your brain into, me trying to, and when I say rip your mind into, we're gonna get into that in just a second. You know, um, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm not stealing from you. That doesn't mean that I'm not, talking behind your back, well, I mean, loyalty is broken because, like I said, the secrets. But if we're just talking behind the back in the sense of demeaning a person by pointing out flaws in their character, is a little bit different than, maintaining somebody's secret. So, you know, when we're talking about ripping the brain into, let's focus on that, because there's a lot of that going on, and it's been going on for many, many years. And this is a very dangerous area, because you are definitely emotionally attaching yourself to an individual, or to an individual. Yeah, it's usually an individual that is a disappointment artist. Okay, and this disappointment artist will come with surprise, and you held them in high esteem in your own mind. You had a high regard for this individual, and they failed you, and they disappointed you by some activity that got exposed that they priorly done, or they did something that was supposedly out of the character that you thought that you had boxed them in your mind, you know and that's what's going on, you know and that's usually done by lies. That is the MK Ultra. So the MK Ultra is defined by abusing somebody, and then swiping their memory, and then still controlling that person off of the abuse that is embedded in their behavior structure. But they may not necessarily remember all the details of the trauma that occurred, you know? So that's what's going on. And we have a lot of lies and a lot of pain that's coming from the uteri, okay? That is definitely running niggas crazy. Now, a lot of women may be listening to this shit right now. It's like, oh, this nigga is blaming the coochie. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. You can't tell me that uterus doesn't develop the human mind. It develops both male and female's brains. So you can't tell me that it's not connected to it. And we all know that telepathy is very real. So we all know that psychic capabilities are real. There's many reports of this. It's been tested on every single level, experiments and whatnot. So we don't want to hear that. It's a very real thing. And when you don't have this understanding of it, you're not able to control the thing. You can't control the thing until you stand outside of it. If you are inside of it, then that means you are blinded by the operations of the thing, hence a tornado. If you're inside the tornado, you don't know how to stop it. But if you are outside of the table, outside of the tornado, you can objectify its shape, measure it, see what I do, cut the wind that's coming to it, and you can collapse the tornado. I'm just giving that as an example. But basically the same thing as a car. You can't check out what's wrong with the car while you're sitting in the car. You have to get outside of the car in order to lift the hood and get it to the engine and whatnot. So anything that you want to control, you need to step outside of it in order to see what the fuck it is. And then we can put down some mechanisms of operation here that leaves you in a position of not being assaulted and not getting fucked up in any way. And unfortunately, the past 20 years, we have programmed our women that it was okay to be quote unquote insane, and that men thought it was cute. No, men have a responsibility, and that responsibility is not only to lead the family, but also to be the backbone for how the society is ran and how government is operating. And we definitely failed with our decisions in the past 20 years, and now it's coming. The roosters are coming home, the hens are coming home, the roosters coming home to roost, or whatever the fuck is the statement. I mean, that's just the truth. That is just the truth. So people are lying. I've dealt with a lot of crazy grandiose lies this year. It's really, really, really phenomenal. I don't want to put my personal business out there and whatnot like that, but god damn, you want to talk about billionaire lies, you want to talk about Titanic lies, nigga, platinum lies, you understand me? Lies that didn't even have no real warrant. It wasn't needed. The lies were not needed. They weren't necessary. And I don't know why compulsive liars, think that is necessary to do so. I guess they want you to look at them in some special way, because that's what the whole MK Ultra split on the mind is liars. Just like Kanye West, his whole situation was a liar. Just like what's going on with Umar Johnson right now, he was a liar. He's a liar about the building. Kanye West was a liar about having all the baddest hoes and doing all this crazy shit when you was doing this shit as a child, my nigga. Like, it's weird shit going on. It's a bunch of liars, a bunch of niggas imposing like they gangster when they really got their pants at their heels. You've been lied to, brother, about a lot of things. The black male overall has been lied to. Well, he hasn't even necessarily been. He has been lied to. When we're talking about the young niggas, they've been lied to, but they haven't. But they've also haven't had any direction in space to understand what is a lie and what ain't a lie. And they didn't were given a direct lane to go into. And that's basically what you have to do in this world. It's just like the animals. You have the way the lion teaches a cub to survive is not the same way that the gorilla teaches the the chimpanzee or the bonobo primate or whatever the little baby gorilla is called on how to raise. They can't raise them the same way. You see what I'm saying? Because they have a completely different system of operation, and their whole social structure is completely different. And they eat different as well. Gorillas are vegetarian, lions are carnivores, So we've all been lied to, and I'm not a liar. I don't like lies. That's why ain't nobody came and test me on none of my literature. Remember, go get it right now, kickedoutofheaven.com, $33, you get the whole set. And even if you got the whole set right now, you buy it again because you're gonna meet somebody in the future that's gonna need the set. You're gonna give it to them as a birthday gift, and then you're already prepared. You see, that's how you gotta think in the future, and I don't like lies, man, but I'm so numb to it. I'm so numb to, you know, the weakness of people's minds. Um, yeah, I'm so used to it. It just rubs off my shoulders. Now I'm numb. I've grown numb to it, because being on the West Coast, man, and I know a lot of y'all seen the Stu Boy interview over there at Adam 22, and you can see his emotions was all fucked up on how he was responding to questions and how he was talking and whatnot, and he started crying when he was angry, and his emotional structure is all fucked up. That's because of the synapses of his nerves and whatever traumatic situations he'd have been through. And on the West, they try to rip your brain in two. I don't know if this is a hardcore thing that goes on the East Coast, Midwest, and down South, and I don't really think so, because people need each other's brains to be stable so we can all survive, because we have to face way harder weather conditions when you're dealing with the East Coast, Midwest, and down South. On the West Coast, there are no weather conditions but sand and sun. Okay, so everybody ends up by default being a write-off. So people talk to people and treat people like however the fuck, with with no thought towards it. It's an extreme animus response. And then when we see, generations and generations of alcoholism, when we see, you know, a lot of orphanage, a lot of abandoned children. There's this real high level hyper, thing going on. And I'm not a hyper motherfucker at all. You dig? I don't like that hype shit. I've been smoking weed for a very long time. I don't do the hypey hype, nigga. Yeah, and there's a lot of reason why I don't even trust hype people, because for you to be easily excited, that means you're not examining things. And if you're not examining things, that means you're not prepared to defend yourself. But you are prepared to offend yourself and also make yourself, you know, look like a fool, because you're not processing how other people around you are looking at whatever situation that you're all observing, or how other people around you are looking at you, while you jumping up and down with quick answers, and you give nothing, no study and no depth of thought. And that's because your processor is weak, and you haven't been through too many situations, to make a strong processor in your brain, on how you compute what's going on, man. And I can't trust it. I can't trust a hyper motherfucker. A hyper motherfucker is gonna lie to your ass quick as fuck and gonna run off like a coward quick than a motherfucker. They gonna act like they ready to, as the old wise statement says, Neanderthals destroy what they don't understand, you know, and not having any understanding means you're not having any detail to it. And they say the devils are in the details, but you must face the devils, just like you have to face your landlord every month, and that's just the reality to it. So watch out for the liars. We have been indirectly and subconsciously taught that lies are okay, just by commercials alone. And these lies and these letdowns and these are not necessarily setbacks unless you are emotionally attached. You see? Now, there's a way to be, and people can sense that, but I'm a slow mover with things. You gotta snipe. You see, as a lion, because I'm a Leo. You know, you gotta creep in the grass. You have to creep in the grass and let nobody see you. You have to and place your eyes on your target. You have to, you know, Project what speeds we're moving at attack and attack viciously. Okay. And that's the only way, real way I can comprehend on doing shit. Sloppy motherfuckers out here, just swinging the AK around. You end up killing innocent children, innocent people. It's ugly. I'd rather be in a tree and snipe your ass from a mile away, and you don't even see what the fuck hit you. And I got through all your little security guard and all of that. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Yeah, and that's how you do it. You want a clean job with things. A sloppy, confused, sticky faced little kid can't get shit done, and there's no mental clarity. And the reason being is because their brain is jammed up. And that's what they try to do to you when you're living in, civilization after high school. They try to rip your brain up with a bunch of lies and a bunch of introductions from people that's supposed to be, the lover or the friend or the best friend or the business partner or even the cousin that you didn't think was going to steal your shit, and they did anyways. And I don't know if it's a test of, is your love blind, and are you supposed to still deal with this person after they've assaulted you for no reason? You know what I'm saying? That is where the big question is at. And sometimes, I mean, I did learn that this year. I ain't even gonna lie. That sometimes bullshit is the manure to make things grow. I guess is how it grows, how it goes. But me, I don't like bullshit. So when motherfuckers bring bullshit my way, I immediately move them out of my picture. You are not in the world zone of my life. When you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, you are it's damn near dookie log. You're fucking trash. Like, I don't understand that. But because my word is all I have. That's what Scarface told everybody. That's what Scarface taught people. The only thing you got is your word and your balls. So if you're not utilizing your word, then what are you? If your word isn't represented with thoroughness on what you say you're going to do and actually make things happen, you have to make things. You have to make money. You have to make the pancakes in the morning. You have to make your bed when you wake up. You have to make love to your motherfucking significant other. You have to make. It is a force. It is a movement. It is a cooperation. It is many parts to one engine that are moving in synchronicity. This is what the picture is. Now, as soon as somebody breaks pattern, as soon as somebody breaks pattern, there is a mental shift. That's why it's not good to really deal with chaotic people. You people who don't have an organized structure of order on how they move, then where they could be predictable, then you're not going to be able to develop with that person. Being unpredictable means being unreliable. You know, Hold on, let me see here. Unpredictable. Uh, Oh, I was just seeing if you could spell unreliable inside the word unpredictable, but you can't because there's two L's. So, yeah, but being unpredictable is also being unreliable. And sometimes, when she loves you deeply, the uterus will definitely know when something is going down immediately and she will make a move. I've had that happen to me several times, with the lady other the I was tired, just pop, boom, my phone is ringing right when it popped. You okay? I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know what time you're on. It's the matrix. That's why when you look up the word matrix, it says mother womb. Okay, what the fuck is that about? And then they have the movie The Matrix, and then they have the movie the what was the name of that movie? The Blair Witchcraft movie, the Blair Witch Project. And they both of those movies came out in the same year. So we have to really see what they're trying to do, and they're really trying to enforce a female rule. And that's what's so crazy is people don't never, especially the lovely ladies, they never observe what is the potential backlash from this activity. Okay. So you wanted to bring in the robot, you wanted to bring in the weird booty study of the LGBTQ, whatever. You wanted to bring in a lot of dumb shit. And look at what they got today. Would y'all like to see what is going on at this very hour? Let's talk about it. Can we talk about it? They don't want no more alien. I love the alien. You understand me? But does the alien love itself? Is the question. You know? And you can't be fucking around with self-sabotage and individuals who don't love their goddamn self. You can't do it, man. You understand me? That self-sabotage shit is the worst thing that you could connect yourself to when it comes to another person. And you better observe that activity. It may take you some months to really see what's going on. They may be trying to hide it. But getting a drink after work or whatever is not self-sabotage. A motherfucker that's drinking a beer every day, that's self-sabotage. Straight up. So you better define the self-sabotage that's inside the behaviors of a person and stay away from it, especially if the ladies have it. Hold on here. A lot of times you don't hold on, let me see. This is a question real quick before we go back into it. How are people ever to discover the truth about a society they cannot escape? I did. What do you mean? It's all psychological. Where are you going to escape to? There's nowhere. There's no ice wall to jump off of, brother. There's no airport that's going to take one to heaven. What do you mean? There's no escape. That's the first thing. Is you got to understand there's no running. That's the first thing you got to do with your brain. If it shows you're trying to escape, then that means you're trying to fight. You're trying to run away from something instead of fighting what is you're escaping from. You fight what you're escaping from and destroy it. Running around all goddamn day ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Now, for example, black folks are still under the illusion that we are actually allowed to participate in real capitalism. You are allowed to participate in real capitalism, but you have to understand what that is. Black folks are still under the illusion that we are actually allowed to participate in real capitalism. Yeah, you are allowed to participate in real capitalism. What is real capitalism is the first question. Capitalism was developed out of a status of being caveman. So what you have to understand is that the only capitalism that there really is manpower. The second layer is the goal. You see, there is no law in this existence. The only law that is in this existence is the law that is carrying the rock in space. That is it. Anything else that occurs on this planet can occur. Dinosaurs, whales are eating, dolphins and shit, Yeah, I said that one must detach from and separate from the object that you plan on studying. That's right. I did. It's simple. You have to understand what your name is, understand what the English language is, understand how Europeans operate, and then you can look at the thing from the outside. Then that's what the kicked out of heaven is. It is European culture. European culture is what developed this whole system that you're in right now. The islands are named after saints, brother. Your rivers, your schools, your hospitals are named after saints. You don't know what that is yet. You don't know what Catholicism is yet. You don't know what the deep elements of Judaism is yet. You don't know what Western culture is. You don't know how white males operate. You don't know what they've been doing in their universities. You don't know how many universities these motherfuckers have. You don't know all the different courses that they provide inside their universities. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't study them. You study them, then by default, it turns into an ant farm. You don't know where they come from and what they're capable of. You don't know what their psychological status or what their business structure was in the 1500s, 1600s. Their laws, their lawyers, their banks, their prostitution and brothel structure, and their wedding rituals, and what foods they were eating and what they were wearing, because they put all of those sciences right on you, because guess what? That's all they know. Like Birmingham is a location in England. It's not just a location in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go on and on and on with this shit. Memphis. Well, Memphis is also ancient Egypt, but they also have a location called Memphis over there in Europe. There's a lot of locations in Europe. Harlem is another one. I think that's in England. And then they made a Harlem, New York. What is a New York? You see what I'm saying? So once you understand and study all of that shit, you are on the outside. Because being on the inside is being underneath their influence and underneath their wordplay, and not understanding what the influence in the wordplay truly is. You see? So black folks are still underneath the illusion, because black folks haven't understand that the system operates off of natural law, and you don't have any manpower. That's why you get disrespected in court, because you don't have any racial assistance. You have no racial support. There's not a time period where, there was a time period. You got situations that happen in LA with the Black Panthers. You got situations that happen in New York with the Black Panthers and whatnot, with them coming defending black people inside of the courts and all of that. What would I like to see for the future of black people? I can't see nothing for the future of black people. Black people gonna have to see their own goddamn future. You know what I'm saying? There's no dog. There's no. I have no dreams. I don't operate in dreams. And I operate off of facts, so I can construct my future correctly. And the facts in that area is that there's been a multitude of your so-called leaders killed by your own. It just happened so recently. If you want to call a Nipsey Hussle or a Tupac your so-called leader or whatever, there's been all types of mysterious situations like Clarence X13 and Khalid Muhammad. See, everything goes off of your record. That's the whole thing. Just like when you go to the DMV, just like when you go get a job, they want to see your resume, see what you've been doing in your past. Just like when you go to a new home, you want to buy a mortgage, they check your bank records. Everything is based off of a record, everything. And black people are not exempt. Your collective activity shows that it is complete in a malfunction, dysfunction status to do anything in a black people status for future. That's why you get disrespected in court the way you do by the judges and the lawyers and everybody else of different ethnicities, because you don't have any loyalty when it comes to your own. You're the black male is the only entity on this planet that is not militarized, and you're also the only individual that is underneath attack from other sources, but you consistently attack each other. You're the only one that does that. There's not no hawks that do it. There's not ants that operate like that. There's not fucking fish in the sea that operate like that. It is only the black male that operates like that. You understand? So if only the black male operates like that, then it means there's something specifically wrong with your thinking structure. Just like if we say there's a 1% of the planet rules the 99%, right? And then, so if 1% of the planet rules the 99%, then the 99%, there's something wrong with the 99%'s thinking pattern and what they do and how they spend their day. There's something wrong. If 1% can control 99%, there's something wrong with the 99%. You don't point the finger at the 1%. And if you do point the finger at the 1%, the only thing you can say is that they're not educating you effectively, so you can be on the same status as them. But there's something wrong with the 99%, not the 1%. You see? It's boiled back down to natural law. If you can't operate and organize and be in a militaristic format like everything else out here is militarized, black women are militarized amongst themselves, and then they are also militarized amongst the status of all women. Just you have to understand how militaries are set up. You see, militaries are set up in a lot of different little factions, and left hand don't know what the right hand is doing, so on and so forth. And, it's spread out across the board, on what their duties are and what departments they take care of and what they enforce and what their personal creeds are for their specific type of platoons and groups. So it's a wide system, okay? And it's operating on a sole telephone operator level, connecting the wires type shit. You understand? And the shit shows up sporadically through different individuals for whatever task must be carried out. You see what I'm saying? Would I describe the majority of black people as counterfeit spirits? I don't know, dog. The closest, the the clearest definition of what I've gotten is what high level MK Ultra shit right here. You know, let me wait till this camera come back in. I don't know why this should be always doing this shit when I get heavy. Elves and worker elves and booty fairies, sexy, sexualized fairies. Okay, and that would be definitely on the dark side of things. So whistle while you work and let me get that for your boss and all that shit. Working at the warehouse, stomping around and always making people happy. And oh yeah, make the white man make them happy and hold the door for them. And this is what black people do. This is what that is where their psyche is limited at. You know, for consistent working. And that's all they want to do is make other people happy, make other races happy with their provisions of work, and then go to other black people and try to brag about how they were at the big, how they were working for the big man and all this other shit. Uh, let's go to this question real quick before I go back into what I was talking about. Did you hear the interview where Nuri Muhammad said the white man's Earth certificate is only 6,000 years old and black man's children trillions and the black man's are trillions? What does that mean? So what? He had a way better 6,000 years on the earth than what black people have had with trillions of years on the earth. By majority rule, we are in Africa with the mud hut, brother. That is the majority. Okay. Yeah, there's cities down there. I'll never deny that. There's pyramids down there. There's lost civilizations down there. I know and I understand all of those things. But when it comes to the majority of our modern day situation, that is not the case of what's being shown here. So 6,000 years. Oh, who cares, dog? I don't listen to, it's statements like that is what made me write the Kicked Out of Heaven, because, the Islam always coming around with the Yaqub and the white man gonna run the world for 20,000 years and all this old weird ass shit, and they don't ever just explain no details. Everything that they say is too vague for me, and then if you do have detailed information, because I have ran into NOI members with detailed information, then write a book, have it verified, and by your peers and whatnot, and do that thing. Is it is the needle in the brain after birth MK Ultra against womb birth? Yeah. Yes, it is, because that's what it is. The MK Ultra. The MK Ultra is definitely a system that comes from underdeveloping the glands inside the brain, which would specifically be the amygdala or the thyroid, which deals a lot with your social understanding and your growth. So if those two glands are disturbed, you're fucked up. And I've witnessed it, and and I think they're doing that shit to a lot of the children. That's going on here in the world today. So, especially in America, So, but what are we gonna do about it? But complain about it, We ain't gonna do nothing about it. Ain't nobody storming up in no hospitals and dragging nobody out and putting down a real demonstration of what needs to occur to individuals that are threatening and fucking up our lives. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people end up going to court, and then they end up going to court, and that is never exposed to the light. So then a lot of people missed out on money and things of that nature. But yeah, the MK Ultra, that's what's going on. Y'all don't forget to buy the books, man. Go get the Kicked Out of Heaven right now, all 3 volumes. And it's for $33. And then I also have the deal still up for the Black Man's Bible, $20, and the Kicked Out of Heaven, Black Man's Bible, Ethereal Law, and 4 ebooks, all for $100. So go get it and don't fuck around. Do you understand how it works? So yeah, and then we're still doing the marathon for the Skulls Brittle and everything we have to do with these podcasts. So I hope you want to make yourselves a part of that, and we will definitely have some good shit rolling. And I'm gonna do a book sale too. I'm gonna do a book sale of my personal books, so that'll be coming up. But it's definitely evident a lot of people are having, financial ups and downs right now with the way the society is working. We don't know what's coming next, and that is also a part of the MK Ultra, is to have you on your toes, because it's a part of the philosophy. Um, it's a part of the philosophy that, damn, I forgot what I was about to say because I read this statement over here. I finally understand the essence of the money religion. I mean, if you think that way, then go ahead. But bro, if I don't know you personally, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I don't know. I like to be real with shit, but yeah, feel like you money religion, then yeah, hoorah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, bro. I try to stay out of the internet hype, man. Maybe I'll be killing myself with that shit, shoot myself in my own foot. I don't know. But yeah, the MK Ultra shit and the lies. Let's go back to that because they're trying to rip your brain, and they've done it with Umar Johnson lies, Brother Polite lies, all the way to the Kanye West lies, all the way to the Joe Biden lies and his son. Yeah, that is a baseline of what the money religion is. And that's why it stands, is because no religion can maintain their ordinances or their force of worship coming from people, without donations. Um, no, MK Ultra is basically just ripping your mind up from beliefs that you had and showing you that the other side is the truth, and destroying your self-esteem, destroying your emotional attachment to a thing, destroying your trust, destroying your spiritual investment by being connected to whatever just brought great disappointment to your life and your mind, and it brought a wow factor to your mind, and it also made you change on how you look at things, and how you deal with people, what you believe coming out of people's mouths, and all of that, as we have seen much of this psychological destruction go on for years. And we didn't see this before the internet came around on a major scale. It affected us, and we definitely see it and witness it every day now. So yeah, don't be surprised, be nonchalant, observe people and watch what they're doing. Don't get caught up in too many words, because everybody wants you to believe some shit, and then they switch the game up when they could have just stayed thorough from the get-go, because you wasn't asking for all of that shit from the beginning. You see what I'm saying? But they don't get it. So yeah, let me see here. Let me put the Cash App over here. Y'all hit the Cash App and stop bullshitting. Get your money while you're bullshitting. You know? Like I said, we got some major shit going on, and you're supposed to be a part of it. Don't be sitting there with your eyes all glazed and shit, staring at me all crazy. Get yourself involved and stop being on the motherfucking bench. Because for those who have been around for some years dealing with me, you have definitely seen a lot of spiritual warfare go down. You've seen a lot of crazy shit go down. And I'm still out here on my solo swinging the sword. Ain't nobody else trying to step on the battlefield. Because I for sure wasn't finna allow none of that weird ass shit to come into society while I'm here. Maybe if other niggas want to be the weaklings. Oh, that's what I was gonna show you. Fuck, while I'm over here running my mouth. Let me run these two videos real quick. So I got one video here where they're trying to remove the uterus off the planet. Let me show you some shit. Get your money while you're bullshitting. Okay, hold on. Hold on, let's not do this. Okay, hold on. Okay, look. I don't know if this video gonna play. Is the volume gonna play? I got this news clip where they're talking about how they're now gonna start putting babies inside the robots. Oh, hold on, here it is. I don't think the volume is playing though. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I can get the volume on this shit. Get your money while you're bullshitting. Okay, watch this.
Pregnancy robots could soon give birth to human children in a revolutionary breakthrough. China is reportedly working on designing a bot with an artificial womb, which will receive nutrients through a hose in its abdomen that'll soon be able to carry a baby for about 10 months before giving birth. Still a lot of questions like how the egg and sperm would be fertilized, inserted into the womb, and of course how the bot would give birth. But if all goes according to plan, the prototype will make its debut next year. And for those struggling to conceive, hiring a robot to carry their baby will cost about $14,000 US, significantly less than a human surrogate. Download Fox Local for live streaming, news, and
My nigga, did you hear that shit? Did you hear that shit? They're gonna be putting minerals inside the woman so she can give birth to the baby. They're trying to remove the woman all the way, bro. And that's what I was saying about the bad decision making. They thought they was fighting with the white man. White man about to remove their ass. Goddamn. I guess he showed you that shit from Greece. Them niggas like men. You understand that you put your faith in their hands because you could put on some makeup, and now these motherfuckers about to get rid of your ass. And then they said that you can have a robot give birth to your child for $14,000, significantly less than a surrogate. You see, that's what I'm saying. You don't compute the outcomes and the possibilities based on the record because that's all human thinking. Animals don't even think in that format. You know what I'm saying? Well, you have some mammals who can, but by majority they can't. You see, crazy shit. Ain't that some crazy shit, y'all? Watch this shit. Hold on, should I play the other video? Yeah, let's play the other video too if I can. Yeah, that's right. I thought this was heavy. This is what kids nowadays want to be when they grow up. And I thought this was very important. So we're gonna look at this real quick. Watch this shit. Hold on.
Aiden would like to be a grown-up because he wants a girlfriend.
Sandy Boyer just wants to do what my mom says.
CJ wants to be a Waffle House worker.
CJ wants to work at the Waffle.
And what do you want to be when
You see that? She wants to be pregnant, talking about what she want to do in motherfucking kindergarten. She want to be. Do you see this shit? You want to know why that was so funny? Is because they was graduating kindergarten, and that's the activity that they saw. One wanted to be with McDonald's worker when they grow up. One wanted to work for Waffle House when they grow up. The other one wanted to be a gas station clerk when they grow up, because this is all they've been seeing while they with the single mom and all this other shit. The other one wanted to be pregnant. The other one wanted to be a witch. Now, see what's so crazy about that one? Wanted to be the witch is, and why does even 5-year-old girl even concerned about being pregnant? You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of weird ass shit is that? But anyways, you got the little girl want to be a witch, and it's funny because you know those are the only images where they show women in some form of powerful defense, and also powerful offense. Is her being a witch. There's not really any other female entities that has the power, like, and because they don't teach mythology, but even the powerful women in mythology still get subjugated and dominated by the males. So the only real entity to show in the cartoon format, because they're never going to explain what real witchcraft is in the world, because that would be letting the males know what it is. And even though they definitely understand that males don't comprehend the magic principles of levels like this, so they don't really they're not going to pick up on it. They still won't put that information out too direct, and tell on themselves like that. But yeah, that's the only image a young girl sees, so that's what she's going to identify with as power, is being a witch. You see what I'm saying? But what's so crazy is that these are kindergarten kids. There was no lawyer, there was no president, there wasn't even police officer level, there wasn't no CEO level, CFO level. Their aspirations in life were already limited to a gas station worker, working at McDonald's, and working at Waffle House, and being pregnant. So we see how the 99% and being a witch, okay? And the other little kid said he wanted to do whatever his mama told him to do. So he was a mama's boy. And these are 7 little kindergartens from different backgrounds that don't even know each other. You see what I'm saying? So so their psyche is already limited, which bounces back to what I was saying earlier about the 99%. You have the 99% that's being controlled by the 1%, because the 99% are developing children whose mind frames are limited at this space, and they don't know anything else higher to reach for, or that they are capable to reach for higher levels of life. There is no college, there was no engineering, no architect, no science, no biochemist, no nothing, no astronaut. There was nothing else. These niggas said Waffle House, okay, and McDonald's, okay. So the 99% is the 99% because they think that being stupid is okay, And what's really so crazy is that this is really the first time in existence where we've had this level of information available to us, and we don't take that shit seriously, and then we wonder why we're in the positions that we're in, because due to the fact we don't have any type of biological defense like a teeth or a fangs or poison or anything of that nature. Our mind is um our brain, and our mind is our weapon, and we have to build from that, and we're not doing so. We're not doing anything within that space. Are women going to band together and stop these motherfuckers from trying to develop robots with embryos that can birth humans? I don't think so. They're not going to do it. Just like what happened with the LGBTQ, they're just going to sit back and let anything roll over their ass, because that's what's been going on throughout history. But then they want to try to prove to men that they're big and tough with their masculine side. But you don't have, but you're not defending your position as a woman, as what your responsibility is with procreation on this planet. And so what are we gonna do? What do we do? MK Ultra, baby. That's what it is. MK Ultra. Jamie Foxx went up in that Clone Tyrone movie and ain't been the same ever since. And niggas ain't did shit about it. We did not avenge. We did not see. We did not do any deep research, discovery to see what the fuck was going on. Nothing. We didn't protect anybody. You know. So I don't know why you expect any respect from other races, or why you expect any respect from the gods, or whatever religions. Um, yeah, it's a lot of money to be made on the online space. That is very true, but you better watch out with that, because once again, it's lies. Um, there's a lot of lies in that space. You know, that's what the human is used the internet for, is to lie better and create, AI and all of this other shit. And that is the MK Ultra. When you discover the lie, when you thought you were, purchasing something or buying you some Bitcoin, and then you got scammed, and your whole account got, emptied out. That is definitely the MK Ultra, because you can't reach into that screen and get your money back. Once it's gone, it's gone. The trustworthy layers amongst human are so low, that we can only devolve into some zombies by now. You know, and while Trump is trying to force this whole situation where couples get back together underneath the same roof, and bake the turkey, you know, there's been too much hate that's been pumped into society, and people don't. And then not only pumped into society, but just like, and it's correlated with the alcohol consumption that has collapsed by the next generation. It's like, bro, do you motherfucking idiots really understand? Because in the 80s, the majority of the other races, Mexicans, blacks, and all of that, they weren't seriously drinking like liquor got dumped on my generation, and what's been going on for the past 10 years. And there's been so many kids affected by parents fighting late at night, you know love triangles that went bad, which was promoted through the music and whatnot, DUI accidents that have occurred, bankruptcies from lawyer fees, and individuals who had to go to jail, all behind some motherfucking alcohol. And there's a ton of people that's affected by it directly and indirectly, and the children grew up witnessing this shit. They don't want nothing to do with your fucking alcohol now. You know what I'm saying? But you made that situation like that. And the only reason you made it that way is because of the lack of intelligence put into public education schools. If there was a greater intelligence that was provided in the educational system, we wouldn't be the results of alcoholism would be completely different. Because it sort of sinks in together when you understand it. There's but I'm not gonna go down that lane right now. But yeah, we would be in a completely different society. Yeah, so we're back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer system right now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi. I don't know what the fuck is going on. They always do that to me. I'm always getting, attacked, shit, in every single way. But yeah, MK Ultra, man, don't let people lie to you. I don't know. Some people allow it to happen. I don't know. There's been a lot throughout the course of my life. I had to put up this video because throughout the course of my life, I've witnessed a lot of people trying to come around me with this compulsive lying shit. Um, and it doesn't really affect me. I notice it for what it is. A lot of people try to bring the brain rip and try to change your behaviors and change the way you look at things by bringing bad experiences into your life, and that is the Matrix. That is the MK Ultra. Don't let it affect you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and get the books, theblackmansbible.com. You already know where it's at, thekickedoutofheaven.com. And come on, man, the Cash App, man. You got to hit up the Cash App so we can go ahead and get this shit rolling with this podcast, man. And have some good times, nigga. Y'all know y'all want to see me up here with the Joe Rogans and all these other podcasts and doing interviews and shit, but we got to make it happen out of our own dollar. I can't I've exhausted myself when it comes to developing products and developing my career with my own finances, because that's exactly what occurred. There's nobody backing me. I don't have no manager. I don't have no PR. I don't have none of that whack ass shit. I've done everything myself, and if a person can't appreciate that, I don't know what to say. So yeah, let me put these links up in here. Y'all hit the Cash App, man. This is very, very serious. This is not a game. And I'm going to be out of here unless somebody got something to say. Somebody got some type of question they want to ask or a statement they want to make. Otherwise, I'm gone. All right. I guess there is nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of tracks and then I'm out of here. Let's play. I don't know what I want to play. Yeah, I'll play that one. I ain't heard that in a minute. All right. Y'all let me know. I'll be here tomorrow. Hit the Cash App and stop your fucking bullshit, man. Let me know. Peace.
Don't get whiplash, cause the whip moved too fast. This is witchcraft, you can't fit that in your mouth where the cat piss at. We split rats if they snitch facts about how we get racks. Got dough like Dow Jones and NASDAQ. Yo, Botox bitch look just like a hazmat. Proceed with caution, make them bleed till they see the coffin. We do not believe in talking, vote for the G for office. Chicken hawking, anyone that wants some, this is raw ton. Mr. Iron Lung, keep them hoes unsprung like flies on elephant dung. This shit's on purpose, don't get nervous. Start choking like your throat's not working. Make your face look like a merkin. My fans be hurting for more rhymes. What's he gonna say this time? My game like a landmine that you can't find till you feel a tingle in your spine like strychnine. Got her Harry Pot open. I guess I'ma be the Harry Potter stroking. The best MC between Boston and Oakland. Got them on their knees hoping and praying, saying that they saw the amazing. God said the earth is not for saving. Keep a fat bitch craving. What the heifer verse of praising pool. The great judge makes the rules. Gotta hate grudge for you fools, so they take slugs and ooze. Take your bitch with her fake button move. This is more than paying dues. This is generational wealth. You couldn't have said it better yourself. You're playing with stealth while you're walking with death. So start watching your steps like Billie Jean. He comes from the day of the Hay and Billy Bees. Plus he keeps his Chevy clean, but they say he's really mean. Saga City, fuck a team. This is life, fuck a dream. Had to get my life right off the triple beam. Damn nigga, can you breathe? Dirty pistol shooting clean. Do you niggas rappers sing? Sound like crap covered with cream. Tell you one more thing about this new thing. How you shooting and seeing what the loot brings. You niggas goofy. This ain't no movie. This is reality. Come and see. Kiss the feet of the majesty that reeks blasphemy. Talk for shit, then colostomy. Is he paid? He got to be. Drop the prophecy every day. On my way, in my big wheel. Making big deals. Make your pig squeal for a big meal. I'ma keep it real. This is all hermetic and you couldn't get it if I alphabetic. Born with this shit embedded with wings on my back. Plus a bat, then I'll swing it or snatch. This she'll be on her knees in the back just to bring me the stack. That's what the fishnet catch. One bad apple fucking up that batch. I've been knighted and scratched. What type of alchemy is that? Turn your unicorn into a Cadillac. Yeah, bitch, daddy's back. Best believe. Bake that bread at 720 degrees. Wake the dead and build a whole army. You couldn't start me with a famine as I mob with the god mammon. Are you niggas understanding? Guess not. So my foot's cramming in your loose cannon. Won't leave your bitch caboose abandoned. Knock them out they shoes where they standing. This is 1920 jazz blues double jamming, moving with the left handed. So the right don't know. Got kilos about as bright as snow. Chris Kringle leave you with a white nose. OG, I keep a tight pose. Keep some happy hype hoes. Sacrifice for the angel Michael. You niggas is recycled and don't deserve a title. I won't speak with my hand on the Bible. 223 in the rifle for the weak rival. Each cycle of the equinox, the silver fox makes Goldilocks, drink stops and get leprechaun spot. My pimpin' like Ripley's, believe it or not. You niggas know I'm on top. Pull up in that dinosaur drop. It's not your video prop, so please stop. Fuck hip hop. You niggas is hopping hips while I'm copping banana clips for the apocalypse. Them hot link lips is always talking big shit. I figure 8 skate all of it. You skinny jean niggas call you bitch, cause I know you scared of shit, but I'll conquer that witch. The Coptic. Everybody said they was gonna hold me down, till I wrote a couple books, niggas don't know me now. Broke the whole world down like an OG Kush Brown, then I passed it all around, cause I'm known around town. And I can't be greedy, gotta get to the needy, gotta live in the city, in the bright lights white. Everybody think they tight, but the 5 mic drives don't come in no type of dance. You get no second chance when you fall with the dog head balls in your hog headlights in the fog. In the middle of the desert, we was counting chips together, then I saw your bird feathers, then your flock got measured, watch your body drop like hot embers. When we speak business, don't have the hot temper. Never was a pretender, just need to go get her with a fat dairy, we put 2 in the air. Did she take the dance and bear and ride me in the chair till the time got lost? How you test God? I already hung on the cross. How you test the devil when I pissed on the cross? Where's some spaceship, bitch? It's time to live, dog. You get with Christian Koff. Oh, hell, the A-dog. The bill, it pays off. Yeah, carry your mouth. Watch your mouth, cause it gets very scary. That's out. False, what's that about? Leave them hanging on trees. So screens of G's. Yeah, they be in the breeze. Seen so many things. Cartel, money, sour cream and cheese. With the guacamole, I'm the one and only. Halo, call me. They gave you the OG holy. No one is before me. Better know it. Show gon' show it. It's that Holy Ghost shit with my Bloody Mary. On the block, you love getting dust with my fairies. I'm concealed with the carry. I'm too real for the sherry. For the likes and comments, you'll wish and promise. Shit you spit be garbage. Can get with a mix of piss and 5 mint. I'm a super soaker. Never will a troop be over for the hot Ruger holder. When the ice makes you colder. Advice for a true soldier. What a loose of a soldier. You are Joe without a Johnson. Throw the retreat to the mob. Hoes want the boyfriend, then give him a bob. Cause I need me a slave. Free labor as always. Been the way to get paid. Came from the grave of strange fruit decay. Never lose my way. This is presidential credentials with a gritty nipple. Big hips on the bitch. Call her hungry hippo. Hop in the Hummer like the blunt with the zipple. Make life so simple. I'm all another nigga and you bitches in the middle. This is Batman, Robin, the Joker and the Riddle. Poke holes in the little. This is God official. In the blood, in the tissue. You don't want that issue. Grandma will miss you. Mock my words, the block will burn. When it's not your turn, better plot and learn. Cause when ain't turn, it's not your concern. Sing like a mockingbird just to get out the cage. This is undead coverage in a werewolf's rage. Count Dracula game. Sleep during the day. This is nocturnal. Glock burn hoes. Dante's Inferno. Faith size of a kernel corn. 82, 83. Yes, a pimp was born. When they hate on me, take it up with the Lord. And don't say what for. Don't be jealous of the good fellas. Niggas got a good grip of what the truth tells us. The Gnostic.
Yo, the homie Gene Cole, man. Hit my line, man. Y'all appreciate I appreciate everybody showing up. Y'all get at me. All right. But Gene Cole, you see the message, man. Hit my email, bro. Let's build. Y'all let me know. Peace.